Hey, all. So one of the most common questions we get as travel agents who specialize in cruising and who love cruising, and people who do videos about cruising, I guess you would say, is, am I going to get seasick? And unfortunately, the answer to that question is maybe. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. Maybe it'll be very minor, maybe it'll be, let's just say, less than minor.
And hopefully it won't be.
Hopefully not. But everybody's body's different. Everybody reacts to the motion
Of the ocean.
differently. So we decided to try and help. We did some research and found, I don't know, 8 or 9 remedies, suggestions for you to take into consideration when planning that cruise to help minimize the effects of the motion sickness.
And some of the points will be, I'll be speaking from experience.
Yeah. One, it is not directly related, but it's kind of related. Stay hydrated. Drink plenty of water before and during your cruise. Now, dehydration does not necessarily cause seasickness, but being dehydrated and seasick, yeah, not a good combination. Dehydration definitely makes those symptoms a lot worse. Arguably, the only time I've ever been seasick in the dozen cruises I've been on and the 300 plus days at sea I had when I was on the aircraft carrier was the 2 times that I was severely dehydrated to the point of having to go to medical and get IV fluids for a day or 2 days. I don't know, because of that.
Which brings us into our next little
Kind of the opposite
nugget of information. Avoid alcohol. Well, that's kind of hard for us.
Yeah, on
too.
a cruise. Yeah.
Caffeine is definitely.
Forget it. Yeah.
I'm not giving up my caffeine. Greasy, heavy foods. Okay. I have no problem with that. Because they can upset your stomach. So, yeah, just you want to try to.
Be careful with what you consume. But, the last day or 2 before the cruise and while you're on the cruise.
Actually, I have to say that I do limit my caffeine on the cruise ships because I'm not a big fan of the coffee because it's so strong.
Well, and not only that, but here at home and at work, we have access to a coffee pot 5-10 feet from us.
Intravenous.
Yeah, just about. But, when you're on the cruise ship, you do have access to it, pretty much every restaurant, the buffet, there's always, places on the promenade. There's plenty of places to get coffee, but you kind of have to make a point of going there to get it. It's not, literally on your way to the bathroom kind of thing. Next up, wear seasickness wristbands, or pressure point stimulators. These devices over the counter, and supposedly they do help alleviate the nausea part of the motion sickness. So, Amazon's your friend, type in seasickness wristband.
Amazon is your friend, nausea is not.
Oy.
Oh, yeah, that kill me. Like he's going to want to. Oh, my gosh. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. Try some over-the-counter motion sickness medications. Dramamine is a big one. Now, do yourself a favor and get the non-drowsy version of Dramamine, because otherwise you won't care if you're seasick or not because you'll be sleeping.
Truth.
There's also Bonine. There's ginger supplements, peppermint oil lozenges. Grab some of those, bring them on board the ship with you. Some of those medications, make sure you read the instructions, like the Dramamine, the Bonine. They tell you to start using it before you get on the ship. So, yeah, definitely something worth considering.
And if you think the over-the-counter medications are not going to be enough for you, you can go to your doctor for a prescription for the patches and
scopolamine patches, or promethazine, or Zofran, or prescription strength Bonine.
Okay.
Some of us are better at pronouncing medical type names than others. Now watch, I might have messed them all up.
Well, you did say Dramamine. It's Dramamine.
I said Dramamine.
You said it wrong.
Okay.
We'll go back and watch it.
Okay.
You may want to just book a cabin in the center of the ship, as this area experiences less motion. We have not had a room in the center of the ship yet.
Most of our rooms have been in the center of the ship, front to back.
Oh, okay. I get lost. It doesn't matter.
True.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about that, the position or not position, location of your room, you want to be as close to the center, front to back as you can, as well as top to bottom. If you're, on the 15th deck, 16th deck, you're going to feel that motion more than you would be if you're on, say, the 7th, 8th, or 9th deck. Okay. But again, it depends on the ship. Older, smaller ships, the 9th deck might be only 2 from the top. So check out the layout, talk to your travel agent.
We were on the 3rd floor.
The 3rd deck.
Yeah, third deck.
Mm-hmm. I didn't feel anything. But again, and that immune's not the right word. I
He's
don't
more
really
seaworthy.
Well, yes. And you're
the first cruise
not bad.
was, no.
Yeah, there's only been 2 nights on the first cruise and maybe 1 night beyond that in all of the cruises we've been on.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think at least one of those nights had more to do with alcohol.
Yeah, not gonna lie.
So, next up.
Fresh air.
Yes, spend time on the open decks. Don't just, if you're feeling nauseous, if you're feeling queasy, laying in your room is arguably the worst thing you could do because it's canned air, because it's harder to see the horizon. If you're feeling nauseous when you're on a ship, you want to look out at the horizon. You want to be outside, standing on the deck with that breeze in your face, looking at the horizon. And I know there's a medical reason for this, and
He's not a doctor.
But I'm not a doctor, and I don't remember what the doctors told me as to why, but seeing that and getting the fresh air will help you feel better a lot faster than laying in your bunk, or not bunk, in your bed, in your interior cabin, on the first deck. Okay.
So you also may want to avoid going below deck.
Kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, or deck and deck. As being confined in an interior cabin can worsen the seasickness because you're not able to focus on anything else, first of all. And there's no natural light.
Right.
Which makes it very hard for me.
Ginger candies, ginger ale, peppermint tea.
Love peppermint tea. It's also good for the brain.
Okay.
Yeah.
For whatever the reason, the ginger and the peppermint settle your stomach. And a lot of times, not only is there nausea, but there's also queasiness. You get rid of one, sometimes the other is much more manageable.
Yeah. Another tip is to practice relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, not medication, or yoga to reduce stress and anxiety.
I should be doing that all the time, being married to you.
Really?
Yes.
But I got jokes.
If all else fails and you're on the ship and you're utterly,
see?
Yeah, miserable.
Judge.
Go see the medical staff. Yes, it's going to cost you some money, but if it's day 2 or day 3 of a 7 or 10 or 12 day voyage and you've been miserable since the moment you stepped on board, pay the couple $100 or whatever it's going to cost to get some prescription meds from them, because otherwise the next 3, 6, 9 days of your cruise that you spent thousands of dollars on are going to be utter torture.
Now,
and you're never ever going to want to go on a ship again.
The other thing too is if it hasn't gone away within 2 days, it might be something more.
I can't say definitely no because I'm not a doctor, but motion sickness. Anyway, yes. So that's really about it. Now that we've given you a bunch of ideas on how to avoid or at least manage that motion sickness, check out the video we did recently about how making your embarkation day go smooth and quick.